Dear students, our today's lecture is devoted to summative assessment for a term. Summative assessment for a term is carried out at the end of a term and shows the proof of understanding, skills, and knowledge through grades and appropriate points. Summative assessment for a term is carried out through the organization of various testing and control works. When completing summative work for a term, it is necessary to take into account not only the knowledge, understanding, and skills, but also the ability of a learner to think in the highest level. It must be taken into account that there is of vital importance to provide learners with tasks enabling assessment, analysis, and synthesis. Samples of tasks for summative assessment for a term are given in methodological recommendations. However, each educational organization may prepare its own task independently. For summative assessment for a term, educators can use a database in which tasks for summative assessment are collected. At the beginning of the academic year, the educational institution methodological union makes an assessment plan for a whole academic year. Summative assessment for a term answers the following question: for whom are the tasks intended? How much time it is allowed for the tasks? How is summative assessment conducted? In what way? What is the content of summative assessment tasks? What types of tasks will be used during the lessons and during the control work? How are the points scored for questions or tasks counted? So here we have to identify that they're detailed and very strict criteria should be mentioned. How many tasks do you need to develop? The last question. So summative assessment for a term is an essential part of the educational process designed to evaluate how effectively students have achieved the learning objectives set for a particular period. Unlike formative assessment, which focuses on continuous improvement, summative assessment provides a comprehensive summary of learning outcomes at the end of a unit, term, or course. This diagram illustrates the main components of summative assessment for a term and explains how they interact to ensure fairness, validity, and consistency in evaluation. At the top of the scheme, we see summative assessment for a term, the overall system used to measure students' academic performance based on specific criteria and evidence collected over the time. The process is structured around 4 interrelated components: assessment criteria, assessment tasks, evidence of learning, and achievement grades. Let's begin with the first component, assessment criteria. Assessment criteria are the foundation of the entire process. They define what students are expected to know and be able to do by the end of the term. These criteria are based on the learning objectives and curriculum standards for the subjects. By establishing clear, measurable, and transparent criteria, teachers ensure that all students are evaluated according to the same expectations. For example, in a language course, the criteria might include grammar accuracy, vocabulary use, coherence, and fluency. The second component is assessment tasks. These are specific activities or assignments designed to measure how well students meet the established criteria. Tasks may include written tests, essays, projects, oral presentations, or practical demonstrations. Each task must align with the learning outcomes and allow students to demonstrate their knowledge, understanding, and skills. Well-designed tasks are essential for ensuring validity. That is, the assessment truly measures what is intended to measure. The third component is evidence of learning. This refers to the tangible results produced by students during the assessment tasks, their completed work, performances, or responses. Evidence provides the basis for evaluation and allows teachers to make informed judgment about students' achievement. It can take many forms: exam papers, project reports, portfolios, or digital submissions. Collecting a variety of evidence ensures a more comprehensive and balanced picture of students' performance. The final component is achievement grades. After evaluating the evidence of learning, teachers assign achievement levels or grades that reflect the degree to which each student has met the assessment criteria. These grades are typically categorized into levels such as excellent, good, satisfactory, or needs improvement, or represent numerically. The grading process must be consistent, objective, and transparent, ensuring that all learners are treated fairly. Together, these four elements, criteria, tasks, evidence, and grades, form a unified system that makes summative assessment meaningful and reliable. The process helps teachers analyze class performance, identify learning trends, and plan future instruction. It also provides valuable feedback to students and parents about academic progress and areas for growth. So summative assessment for a term is not just about assigning grades, it's about capturing the full picture of students' learning achievements. When the assessment criteria are clear, tasks are well designed, evidence is authentic, and grading is fair. Tasks for summative assessment across a unit, cross-curricular topic are developed in accordance with the learning objectives of each subject and the unit and the assessment criteria. Methodological unions of school develop and approve the summative assessment plan for the whole academic year. Methodical recommendations with sample tasks for each subject for the assessment implementation are developed by the special unions of each educational organization. Thank you very much for your attention.